Hello guys, how you doing? In this lesson I'm going to be showing you how to start playing jazz standards on the piano. This is based on a method from Mark Levine's jazz piano book. I found this really useful when I was learning jazz, so I'm going to attempt to demonstrate it to you today with my magical keyboard with orange lights. And we're going to be using John Coltrane's Lazy Bird to demonstrate this. A couple of prerequisites for this. You will need to know how to construct basic seventh chords. If you're not sure how to do that, I've got a video about that. I'll put a link in the description at the top. And you'll need to have a basic understanding of what thirds, sevenths, fifths, ninths, etc. are. So assuming you're okay with all of that, you can get started with this lesson. So we're going to be doing this in 3 steps. Step 1 is going to be playing through the tune. We're just going to be doing the A section for this because I just want to demonstrate the principles behind this rather than go through the entire tune. So step 1 is just going to be playing 3-note voicings with no melody. I will explain what I'm doing here in a minute. And then step 2 is going to be adding the melody on top of those voicings. And then step 3 is going to be adding some more notes to those chords, some extensions to make it sound better. So part 1, the 3-note voicings. The voicings we're doing here are just a bass note in the left hand and then 3rd and 7th in the right hand. So we'll just walk slowly through this A section now, just sticking to this, this 3-note voicing for each chord. So there's our A minor 7, there's our D7, C minor 7, F7. So you may notice with the 2-5 and 2-5-1 sequences that all you need to do with these voicings is lower the 7th half a step, like that, and same with this C minor 7 to F7. We're just lowering this 7th 1/2 step. Then we have F minor 7, again we lower the 7th, B flat 7, and this is a 2-5-1, so again we can lower the 7th a half step to take us down to E flat major 7, A minor 7, D7, G major 7. So that's step 1. So you want to basically work on that until you can basically just fluently go through that section nice and smoothly. And then step 2 is we're going to add the melody. So we're going to start with bass note and the melody note, and then we're just going to add in the 3rd and the 7th underneath that. For now we're not going to worry about the rhythm too much of the melody, we just want to get the notes first. So then we go, there's our A, there's our melody note, there's our 3rd and 7th underneath, and we just continue through the form in that fashion. There's our melody, 3rd and 7th underneath. We don't need to do a chord on every melody note, like for example this bit here. We don't need like, you can if you want, but I think it sounds nicer to have melody notes on weak beats of the bar just by themselves, but up to you. Let your ears be your guide. there's our E flat major 7, 3rd and 7th there. Now here the melody note is the 3rd of A minor 7, so we don't need to add anything to that. And then there's our D7, and we finish on the G major 7. So that's our melody, and 3rd and 7th, like that. So that's step 2. And then step 3 is we're going to start adding some extra notes into these voicings to add a bit of colour. So there's not really hard and fast rules about what notes you should add, but there are certainly notes that you can add to each different type of chord. So we'll explore a few of those as we go through each chord. So we'll start with that A minor 7 again, as we had it in step 2. So what we have got so far is a 3rd, a 7th, and we already have a 9th, because that's a melody note. So 9ths are always good ones to add anyway to minor 7ths, but we've already got a 9th. So we could also add a 5th there, like that. And then we don't necessarily have to have the 5th there. We could have it down here instead. So that's with it. So it sounds up there and down there. Slightly different sound. Then let's go to our D7. So we've already got a 7, 3, and we've got a 5th already. So with a dominant 7th we can add a 9th, which would be E. We could also have a flat 9. With dominant 7s you can usually alter the 9th, either sharpen or flatten it. So that's a flat 9, which sounds quite nice. And we can move these notes around a bit as well. So let's try moving that F sharp down there instead. Like that. Onto our C minor 7. This is kind of the same situation as with A minor 7, because our melody note is the 9th again. So we could add the 5th down here again. And then F7. We could add a 9th again, or a flat 9. Let's try something different here. We'll move our 3rd down to here, and let's try. We'll have our F7 flat 9. Let's add a 13th in there as well. So that's creating some tension and dissonance there, but I quite like that. Like that. And then F minor 7. This is a good opportunity for just an 11th, a minor 11th chord. The melody note is the 11th here. So we've got 3 and 7 there, and then we were just adding 5 and 9 there. So that gives us an F minor 11. And then moving on to our B flat 7. So we've got 7, 3 and 5 already in there. So we could put our 9th in there. Or again we can have a flat 9th. This next melody note here can give us a really nice type of chord, which is, again, it's a 13 flat 9, just in a slightly different configuration than when we did it with the F7. So like that. That's probably one of my favourite chords, 13 with a flat 9. Now we got our E flat major 7. So with major 7s, you can add a 9th, which would be F. You can also add a 6th to major 7s, like that. And again, let's maybe move these notes around a little bit, see what we can do here. So let's move the third down here, and then 6 and 9 there. So that gives us that. Like that. That's nice. Then our A-7. So right now we've only got a third and a seventh here. So let's add in, we can add in a ninth here. We could add in a fifth, or we could also add in an 11th here. So that's quite an interesting one. So if you want a less, something more normal, I guess, stick with the fifth. The 11th is more of a modern sound. And then the D7. So that's what we were starting with. So here again we're doing a flattened ninth here. Let's stick with a normal 9 here, just for a bit of variety. And then we finish on the G major 7. So the what have we got? So we got a 5, a 7, we got a 3. So let's move the 3 down there, and then we can add us a 6th and a 9th there. So it gives us that a G6 9, which is lovely. So yeah, and so that's the third step, and probably the most fun step, because that's when you can really kind of experiment with different chord extensions, different kind of voicings, moving notes around a bit. So I know it may be tempting to jump straight into the third step just to start playing all the nice sounding voicings, but it's really, really useful, and it will really pay off to work on the first step especially, until it's really comfortable first, because then it becomes a lot easier to start adding things around that. If you jump straight into the more complex voicings, it's always going to feel like a bit of a struggle putting these chords together. So yeah, pick any tune you like for this and just work through it in that format. So start with 3-note voicings, then adding the melody to 3-note voicings, and then adding extra notes to those voicings. So yeah, that's all there is for this lesson. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please let me know in the comments. And if you have any ideas for other jazz piano concepts you'd like to see a video of in the future, please let me know too. Thanks very much for watching. Okay, cheers. Bye.